All right, you could start now.
Hi, good day, everyone. I'm presenting the chapter Courage, Moral Leadership. First, we start with what is courage? Serving others and doing right can be challenging. Leaders sometimes have to reach deep within themselves to find the strength and courage to resist temptations or to stand up for moral principles when others may ridicule them or when they may suffer financially or emotionally from their actions. Without courage, leadership cannot exist. Here we have courage often means conformity. This means going against the grain, breaking traditions, reducing boundaries, and initiating change. Going against the status quo can be difficult. It's often easier to stay with what is familiar, even if it will lead to certain failure, than to initiate bold change. Most leaders initiating change find some cooperation and support, but they also encounter resistance, rejection, loneliness, and even ridicule. Taking chances means making mistakes, enduring mockery or scorn, being outvoted by others, and sometimes failing miserably. What it means to be a courageous leader. To be a good leader, you have to be able to push past your comfort zone and push past your team and push your team past theirs as well. This will help achieve the best outcome possible when helping everyone to grow. As a leader, when you speak, you influence others to speak up and fight for what they believe in. The best leaders, now we take a look at moral leadership. The best leaders in the world all have a distinct purpose in mind before they take action. A true leader must have the courage to act after discovering who they are and what they stand for. A leader without a purpose is more susceptible to failure. Purpose is what sustains us when things get tough, and things will get tough. Therefore, leaders show courage to act after demonstrating dedication and conviction in what they believe. In short, the importance of leadership lies in the ability to get things done. Leadership allows you to communicate a clear vision and then unite your team around that vision. Here we take a look at moral values and what a leader must possess. As a leader, you can demonstrate moral values and set the example you want your followers to follow. Anyone can be a leader at home, at school, at church, at work. At home, we have where parents try their best to be a good example to their children or to their nieces, to their nephews, um, in cases where they may go out to represent the family or so. In public, you would want to have you would want to have had to put in that good sense of leadership in them at home, so when they go out, they wouldn't cause such things as embarrassment and all of that. Setting good examples is the best way for a leader to gain credibility and respect from others. In other words, a leader must demonstrate the behavior they want others to emulate. Professional ethics has recently become a hot topic fueled by scandals. A leader must learn to resist the temptation to act unethically in order to avoid criticism or achieve short-term gains. Examples of this are persons who hold high office, for example, prime ministers, presidents, some of those which have gotten into trouble for many unethical reasons. In the THA, we had a secretary of settlements at one time that gave 4 houses to his family members. Of course, that didn't sit too well with the public. He denied it, but they are still currently the occupants of those houses. Of course, the party did not take him back to run in the next election, and further to that, the party is now no longer in power in the Tobago House of Assembly. Continuing, a leader must have the ability to look within. Leadership starts with self. Be your own leader. We all want to be the best we can be, to feel effective and to make a difference in our own lives and in the lives of others. We want to improve. We often forget though that we first need to know ourselves and then lead others. Integrity is also an essential leadership trait for an individual and an organization. It is especially important for top-level executives who are charting an organization course. The level of integrity a leader consistently exhibits sets the stage for how the team and its members conduct themselves. Part of integrity is honesty, being able to tell the truth and deliver on the promises. A leader should have the fortitude to do the right thing despite of outside pressures. Lastly, self-awareness and humility. These are paramount for leadership. The better you understand yourself and recognize your own strengths and weaknesses, the more effective you can be as a leader. Leaders should be modest about their motivations and actions. Here we take a look at the dilemmas leaders face. In light of recent unethical and illegal actions, top leaders in particular are under increased scrutiny. What happens at the top normally filters through organizations and to the society by extensions. Leaders, on the other hand, face numerous pressures that test their ability to do the right things. Things such as personal weakness, self-interest are the most dangerous obstacles for leaders. Cost cutting, profit boosting, kickbacks, meeting demands of vendors or of business partners are appearing successful, and appearing successful can all contribute to ethical lapse. Leaders will sometimes do the wrong thing just to look good in front of others. Here are some factors that contribute to the unethical behaviors in organizations. Unethical leadership behavior is a serious issue that impacts everyone in the leadership position, but it is especially dire for those who have dedicated themselves to helping others. Sometimes unethical leadership is motivated by greed and involves harming others to make more profit. Unethical leaders appear in a wide variety of forms and happens for a variety of reasons as listed. Leaders sometimes signals what happens through their behavior. Leaders operate on selfish and greedy principles. Unethical leaders are typically more concerned with gaining personal benefits than with advancing the organization or the society. Most unethical leaders are dishonest with their employees, their partners, customers, vendors, and shareholders. They fail to honor agreements and commitments made to others. They take full credit for accomplishments while blaming others when things go wrong. They fail to allow others to have meaningful participation in decision making. They generally treat people with discourtesy and disrespect. They see followers as a means to an end and show little concern for treating people as individuals or helping followers develop their own potential. we look at moral leadership. Moral leadership is more than just a collection of behaviors unrelated to right or wrong. Every leadership technique has a moral component since it has the potential to be utilized for good or bad. It is important to know the difference between right and wrong and to act morally. Moral leadership strives to act in a way that is fair, honest, right, and good. Leaders have significant sway over followers, and moral leadership enriches and prolongs followers' lives. Moral leadership inspires followers to be better than they were before the leader. How leaders can act in a moral way. They can be clear and uphold high moral principles, concentrate on what is best for the organization and all parties involved, be the example they want others to follow, be truthful to themselves and others, drive out fear and eliminate the unjustifiable, develop and communicate ethical guidelines. They can grow a spine, so to speak, show zero tolerance for ethical violations, honor ethical behavior from the lowest to the highest level of the organization, treat everyone with fairness, dignity, and respect, do the right thing in their personal and professional life, even if no one is looking. Stewardship leaders. Stewardship is a fundamental shift in leadership thinking. Followers are empowered to make decisions and they have control over how they do their own jobs. Leaders give followers the power to influence goals, systems, and structures and become leaders themselves. Stewardship supports the belief that leaders are deeply accountable to others as well as the organization without trying to control others. In fact, stewardship can be called an alternative to leadership because the spotlight is on the people actually doing the work, making the product, providing the service, or working directly with the customer. There are four principles that provide the framework for stewardship. One, reorient toward a partnership consumption. This is where partners have the right to say no to one another. They are totally honest with one another, neither hiding information nor protecting the other from bad news. Two, localize decision and power to those closest to the work and the customer. This entails reintegrating management and doing of work so that everyone doing some of the organization's core work of the time. Nobody gets paid to plan and manage other people's work. Three, recognize and reward the value of labor. Some people like to be recognized, some like to be rewarded, some like a little bit of both. This involves distributing wealth. Persons are compensated when they make exceptional contributions. Everyone earns his or her pay by delivering real value, and the organization pays everyone as much as possible. Four, expect core work teams to build the organization. This is where teams of workers who comprise the organization or division's core defined goals maintains control, foster and nurture an environment, and organize and reorganize themselves to respond to a changing environment and the marketplace they serve. Lastly, we take a look at servant leadership. Some say this is the best way to lead. Servant leadership is a step beyond stewardship leadership, in which leaders relinquish control and choose to serve employees. So, servant leadership is where leaders relinquish control and choose to serve employees. A servant leader shares power prioritizes the needs of employees and it assists persons in developing and performing to their full potential. Rather than the people serving the leader exists to serve the people. Servant leadership can be as simple as encouraging others' personal development and assisting them in understanding a larger purpose of their work. We examine the 4 basic precepts of a servant leadership. 1. Put service before self-interest. Servant leaders make a conscious choice to use their gifts in the cause of change and growth for other individuals and for the organization. They desire to help others take precedence over the desire to achieve a formal leadership position or attain power and control over others. The servant leader calls for doing what is good and right for others, even if it does not pay off financially. In this view, the organization exists as much to provide meaningful work to persons as the persons exist to perform work for the organization. 2. Listen first to affirm others. The servant leader doesn't have questions, he asks questions. One of the servant leader's greatest gifts to others is listening, fully understanding the problems others face and affirming his confidence in others. The servant leader tries to figure out the will of the group and then further it however he can. The leader doesn't impose his or her will on others. By understanding others, the leader can contribute to the best course of action. Number 3, inspire trust by being trustworthy. Servant leaders build trust by doing what they say they will do, being totally honest with others, giving up control, and focusing on the well-being of others. They share all information, whether it be good or bad, and they make decisions to further the good of the group rather than their own interests. In addition, trust grows from trusting others to make their own decisions. Servant leaders gain trust because they give everything away. They give power, control, rewards, information, and recognition. Trust allows others to flourish. Number 4, nourish others and help them become whole. Servant leaders care about followers' spirits as well as their minds and bodies, and they believe in the unique potential of each person to have a positive impact on the world. Servant leaders help others to find the power of the human spirit and accept their responsibilities. This requires an openness and a willingness to share in difficulties. Being close to people also means leaders make themselves vulnerable to others and are willing to show their own pain and humanity. Servant leadership can be something as simple as encouraging their own personal development and helping them to understand a larger purpose. In concluding, people want leaders who are honest and trustworthy. However, many organizations' ethical climate is at a low. Leaders are subjected to pressures that test their ability to do the right thing. Leaders cause problems in organizations by promoting self-interest excessively, engaging in deception, breaching agreements, and lacking the courage to confront unjust acts. To build an ethical organization, leaders must act on moral principles. They care about the greater good, strive for fairness, and have the courage to stand up for what is right. Leaders at higher levels of moral development concentrate on the needs of their followers as well as the universal moral principles. Leaders who follow the principles of stewardship and servant leadership can help build ethical organizations. Thank you, sir.